The Florida Department of Transportation welcomes you to the US 17 Trail Project Open House. This open house is being offered in person and online to give the community an opportunity to learn about the project and provide feedback. This project is located along US 17 from State Road 40 to Washington Avenue and from Palmetto Avenue to the Putnam County line, spanning approximately 12.6 miles. A 1-mile-long segment of the trail was constructed in Pearson in 2018. The goal of this project is to fill a gap in the St. Johns River to Sea Loop Trail. A project development and environment, or PD&E study, to evaluate the feasibility and impacts of the trail was completed in 2020. In addition to advisory group meetings, public engagement activities included a public kickoff newsletter distributed in May 2018, a public alternatives meeting held in May 2019, and a final PD&E newsletter distributed in late 2020 notifying the public of the preferred alternative. The PD&E study for this project was approved in late 2020. And the design phase began in early 2024. Shortly after design began, a project handout describing design updates was distributed in September 2024. This project open house is being held to provide updates on final design and to receive input from the public. The design plans for this project are anticipated to be completed fall 2026. SUN Trail stands for Shared Use Non-Motorized Trail, and the program was established for the Florida Department of Transportation to develop a network of paved trails. This allows non-motorized vehicles and pedestrians to access a variety of origins and destinations with limited exposure to motorized vehicles. The SUN Trail Network is created as a component of the Florida Greenways and Trails System, which is planned by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The St. Johns River to Sea Loop Trail is a partially completed 260-mile trail system that will link together 5 counties and several communities, including St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, Titusville, DeLand, and Palatka along Florida's Atlantic coast and the St. Johns River corridor. This trail is a significant component of the SUN Trail program. It includes portions of the East Coast Greenway and overlaps with the Florida Coast to Coast Trail, enhancing its connectivity across the region. Additionally, the trail connects to the Palatka to Lake City Trail and intersects with the State Road 40 trail. The St. Johns River to Sea Loop is one of the top 2 long-distance regional trails funded through the SUN Trail program, making it the second most important trail in Florida. The interconnected nature of these trails highlights the St. Johns River to Sea Loop's importance, offering expanded recreational opportunities, supporting economic development, and providing connections through local communities and to natural landmarks. The US 17 Trail will consist of an 8 to 12-foot wide multi-use trail that will vary in width depending on its location throughout the project area. The trail is 12 feet wide in rural areas and varies 8 to 10 feet wide through the communities of Pearson and Seville due to limited right-of-way. The trail will follow the east side of the roadway throughout the project area and will primarily consist of asphalt with some concrete segments. Additionally, the design provides a buffer of varying widths to separate the trail from roadway traffic or other obstacles along the trail. Currently, the design does not include considerations for landscaping or lighting, except at the intersection of Washington Avenue in Pearson. There are several benefits that come with the trail, including increased economic benefit and quality of life and health. Positive impacts associated with the construction of a trail include increased property values, Studies show that trails can increase property values and become a positive factor when selling a home. There are increased jobs and revenue. Local businesses thrive, and new businesses start as a result of increased accessibility and mobility through commercial areas. A trail may have a positive impact on quality of life and health, which leads to a reduction in overall medical costs over time. And a trail provides free recreation and transportation, which could reduce crime rates and revitalize depressed areas. Studies show that most homeowners who are originally opposed to a trail find it to be beneficial once constructed. Features for this trail have been considered to enhance safety and address common concerns. We've designed the trail to be wide enough to safely accommodate both pedestrians and cyclists, with barrier curbs and clear zones added to ensure safety and distance from traffic. Additionally, the trail will be open to non-motorized vehicles only. Regarding right-of-way, the FDOT has worked to minimize impacts to adjacent properties. Since this is a non-motorized trail with no planned lighting, noise levels are anticipated to stay the same. There will be no added light pollution or impacts to personal privacy. Additional proposed trail features include pavement contrast with both asphalt and concrete, signage to enhance safety for trail users and passing vehicles, detectable warnings at driveway crossings in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and pedestrian and bicycle railing where needed. Additional design considerations for the trail include areas with constrained right-of-way, utility poles and potential utility relocations, property encroachments, side street crossings, and sign relocations along US 17. Through the more rural areas, the project will include a 12-foot wide multi-use trail on the east side of the roadway. The trail is separated from the roadway by a grass buffer varying from 10 feet to 60 feet wide. The existing paved shoulder on US 17 will be maintained along the roadway. Through the suburban areas of Pearson and Seville, the project will include a multi-use trail varying in width from 8 to 10 feet on the east side of the roadway. The trail is separated from the roadway by a 5-foot wide grassed buffer and a reconstructed curb and gutter. The existing paved shoulder on US 17 will be maintained, and new curb and gutter will be constructed along the east side of the roadway. Through the more urban sections of Pearson and Seville, the project will include a multi-use trail varying in width from 8 to 10 feet wide on the east side of the roadway. The trail is separated from the roadway by a 5-foot wide grassed buffer. To accommodate the trail, the curb and gutter will be relocated, and the paved shoulder will be removed on the east side of US 17. This project will also make improvements at the intersection of US 17 and Washington Avenue in Pearson. Lighting will be added at the intersection to highlight pedestrians crossing the roadways, and improvements will be made to the pedestrian signals. Trail right-of-way requirements vary throughout the project limits. In the suburban and urban areas, a minimum of 17 feet is needed for the trail footprint and a buffer from the roadway for the safety and comfort of all trail users, as well as a buffer on each side of the trail, which allows pedestrians or cyclists to safely recover if they drift off the trail, enhancing safety for users and reducing risk of injury or collision. In the rural areas, a minimum of 20 feet is needed to accommodate the trail footprint and buffer areas. For all areas, additional width may be needed for drainage and to match into the existing ground elevation. Some right-of-way will be needed for this project. With the current design, there are an anticipated 29 parcels with potential impacts along the trail corridor. For detailed right-of-way information, please refer to the project roll plots on display at tonight's meeting or speak with project staff. Roll plots are also available for download in the GoToWebinar and on the project website. FDOT will reach out to those properties impacted. All right-of-way acquisition will be conducted in accordance with Florida Statute 339.09 and the Federal Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, commonly known as the Uniform Act. If you have any questions about the right-of-way process, you can contact the Florida Department of Transportation, District 5, Office of Right-of-Way at 719 South Woodland Boulevard, DeLand, Florida 32720, or by phone at 386-943-5030. The design of this project is anticipated to be completed in fall 2026, with an estimated cost of $3.8 million. The right-of-way and construction phases of this project are not yet funded. Your feedback is important, and we want to hear from you. You may speak directly to project team members, submit written questions or comments, provide comments online through the project website at www.cflroads.com/project/439876-1 or through the GoToWebinar question box during the webinar. While comments and questions are welcomed at any time, those submitted by August 28, 2025, will be included in the public record of this open house. You can also reach FDOT Project Manager Blair Scheller directly by email at blaieR.scheller@dot.state.fl.us or by U.S. mail at the Florida Department of Transportation, 719 South Woodland Boulevard, Mail Station 542, DeLand, Florida 32720. You may also call Blair Scheller at 386-943-5232 to provide verbal comments during normal business hours. This public meeting was advertised and is being conducted in accordance with state and federal requirements, including Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting Melissa McKinney, District 5 Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 719 South Woodland Boulevard, Mail Station 501, DeLand, Florida 32720, by phone at 386-943-5077, or email melissa.mckinney@dot.state.fl.us. You may also contact Al Sanders, State Interim Title VI Coordinator, by mail at 605 Sewanee Street, Mail Station 65, Tallahassee, Florida 32399, by phone at 850-414-4764, or email at aldrin.sanders@dot.state.fl.us. This information is shown on a sign at the in-person location on the project website and in the meeting notifications. FDOT is committed to ensuring every bicyclist and pedestrian arrives home safely. If you are a bicyclist or pedestrian, be predictable, make smart choices, and always cross at intersections. If you are a driver, pay attention, don't be distracted, and watch for bicyclists and pedestrians. When biking along a trail, always wear a helmet when you ride. Drink plenty of water. Be sure to follow trail rules. Be mindful of your surroundings. Communicate with other trail users. Wear sunscreen. Pack a small first aid kit. Wear insect repellent. Bring a cell phone. And have a trail map. Thank you for attending the open house for the US 17 Trail Project. If you have any comments or questions, please submit them by Thursday, August 28, 2025. Have a great evening.